Hey guys, you have McGann, and I'm back with another episode of There I Read It, where I am going over the Harry Potter books chapter by chapter for the first time ever in my life. And today we are in chapter 21, which is the House Elf Liberation Front. Health. I think I like that better than spew. But let me get into my notes here and talk about what was going on in this chapter. So Ron thinks that Karkaroff being a Death Eater makes sense because Draco Malfoy had said that his father Lucius knows Karkaroff. And they're like, yeah, I bet that they were talking about all of this bad dark wizard stuff back in the Voldemort era, and that's why they're buddies. But Harry wants to send a message to Sirius, and they get Pigwidgeon to send it, and he is so excited. He's just flying around everywhere, being a little bit of a pain. And once they get the letter attached to his leg and throw Pigwidgeon out the window, he kind of sinks for, I think they said 12 feet before he gets back up and gets in the flow of things. And this owl is so cute. I don't think I remember it from the movies, so I am furious now. I want this owl. There are so many Hedwig products out there and toys and such. I feel like Pigwidgeon would have been adorable as a counter toy to Hedwig. Angry. But then the trio's like, hey Harry, we need to get back to Gryffindor Tower because they're gonna have your surprise party ready. Fred and George are gonna steal all this food from the kitchens, and everybody up in Gryffindor is so excited over the last task. So they go up there and it's just like, whoo, party time! And the next task is not for 3 months, so Harry is kind of relieved that he gets that break. And the other Gryffindor kids are like, hey, let's check out this golden egg. Let's open it. Let's see what's going on in here. And Harry opens it and the egg is empty, but it screeches in this horrible tone like a banshee. And so the other Gryffindor kids are like, oh, maybe that's the clue. You're gonna have to fight a banshee, or maybe it's this, maybe it means that. And Hermione's getting a little huffy, going, he's supposed to figure out the clues on his own. And then Harry's like, yeah, I was supposed to figure out the dragon stuff on my own too. And then Hermione's like embarrassed, but it's like, why are you getting snippy with Hermione? What, now that Harry has Ron back, he's just like, well, I don't need Hermione, forget her. I mean, I know she's a little bit of a know-it-all. I know she can probably be frustrating to deal with when she wants all the rules followed when nobody else is following them. But seriously, this is your friend, and I feel like they don't really treat Hermione like a very good friend in most of their encounters. Like anytime the two boys, Ron and Harry, are doing well, it's kind of like Hermione is just there and she's just sort of a nuisance to them. Almost like a third wheel in their romantic relationship, as it were. But Fred and George are going around and they're handing out these treats, and they come up to Hermione and they've got this horrible grin. And I think they said it was George that was like, hey, try this, Hermione. Don't worry, we haven't done anything to it. So Hermione eats one of these jam tart things, and it says Neville is back there in the corner eating this custard, but then Neville ends up turning into a canary, and the twins are just like, oh yeah, we did hex the custard ones. We forgot about that. Whoops-a-doo. But then they start trying to sell them on the spot. So, yeah. I don't know how much I like those twins. They're starting to give me like bully anxiety at this stage. Now that they're making all of these prank products, it just feels like their entire role in the series is going to be to make everything feel like they're on punked. And I don't like it. It's like, it's giving me some bad vibes. Like I'm getting chest pains waiting for them to do the next stupid thing. This is not fun for me. I was bullied a lot in school. But my sweet baby Nevsy is only a canary for 1 minute, and even Neville has a good sense of humor about it because it doesn't last very long. And then we're to the next thing, which is Care of Magical Creatures, where the Scroots are now 6 feet long, and there's only 10 of them left. And now that we've had the Scroots appear over and over and over again, I feel like they're definitely going to be important for something in the plot. I'm not quite sure what yet, if they're just going to cause general chaos, or if they're going to be like, oh, that's my daddy, I'm gonna fight the bad guy for you by the end. I don't know what weird thing is gonna happen with these Scroots, but there's gonna be something. And the Scroots get loose, and Hagrid has the kids who are willing, which is basically the trio and a few others, trying to round them up and catch them. And Rita Skeeter just leans up on the fence and she's nosing around asking questions. And apparently Dumbledore had already banned her from the grounds, but she doesn't want to talk about the details of that. She just wants to sniff out her story. She doesn't want to answer anything. So she's just like, oh, Hagrid, these are so interesting. Maybe we can put them in the paper. The Daily Daily Prophet does something on animals every Wednesday. And Hermione's like, oh, for the love of all things holy, please don't tell us that you have illegally imported these Scroots. And we don't know yet, but I imagine there's gonna have to be something about them. They've come up way too often at this point. Then Harry and Ron go to double divination, where Trelawney predicts more doom for Harry. And again, I know she's kind of right. She kind of has something serious and mystical about her, but I'm just finding Trelawney so exhausting right now. It feels like the weirdest kind of filler. Then the boys are looking for Hermione after class. They can't find her. They check the library, and Victor Crumb is in there with his fan club still watching in the wings, and there's not even a hint of what he's looking for. I mean, we have 3 months until the next task, so I'm struggling to think what he needs to be learning that consistently. Is he going after his magical GED? Is there a GED version of owls? Like, I don't get it so far, but more clues will follow, I'm sure. Then Hermione finally surfaces, and she's like, guys, you gotta come with me, come see this. And they go down to the kitchens, and Dobby is in there, and he's wearing a tea cozy hat, a tie with a horseshoe pattern on it, no shirt. So what is this tie attached to? This outfit seems so weird. He has football pants that are like the British puffy early days football pants, not like the sleek mainstream Americanized football pants, and mismatched socks, one of which is the black sock that Harry gave to him to trick Lucius Malfoy into setting Dobby free. And it turns out that Dumbledore gave Dobby and Winky jobs because nobody wants to touch either of them with a 10-foot pole. They are like disgraced. House elves shouldn't be fired or asking for money. That is just a very bad thing in their culture. So yeah, they have finally found work thanks to Dumbledore because nobody else will give them a chance. And Dobby's like, I'm paid 1 galleon a week and I get 1 day off a month. And Hermione's like, that's not great, bruh. And Dobby very proudly states that, well, Dumbledore offered me 10 galleons a week and every weekend off, but I want to work. Like he's terrified of this idea of having too much downtime and too much money. He doesn't want to build a life. He just wants to be paid in some sense of the word of being paid. Dobby is the worker that American companies are drooling for and dreaming about. Oh, you don't want livable wages? You just want to be paid something to say you got paid? Okay, come right over here and work for Mickey D's. And I get it. A house elf is basically raised from birth that they serve whoever they are indebted to, or owned by, I guess is a better phrase. And that is, you know, their whole lot in life. They do their jobs well, and they do it for generations forward. Because as Winky said, she just can't stand the idea of not being with Mr. Crouch because her mother was with the Crouches and her grandmother was with the Crouches. So it is like a family house elf dynasty to serve the Crouches. And now she's been discarded and she just can't take it. She is sobbing and freaking out. And Winky has a cute little outfit too. So now I guess she's free-ish? I did not remember her specifically being given clothes and freed. I thought she was just fired, but she's wearing a neat little outfit and a hat, so I feel like I either forgot something or something has not been mentioned because that doesn't quite compute. But Hermione asks Winky how much she's getting paid, and she says that she hasn't sunk so low to get paid yet. She just wants to work and be happy. She couldn't stand the idea of being paid. That's just disgusting. She is absolutely ashamed to be free. And this whole time that Dobby's talking about being paid and, you know, living the free man life, all the other house elves that work for Hogwarts are like, oh my gosh, they're like so embarrassed and ashamed, and they don't even want to stand anywhere near Dobby or Winky. It's a vibe. And then the subject of the house elves' past masters came up, and it is very hard for Winky to talk ill of the Crouches. And she's like, no, I'm still loyal. I love Mr. Crouch. Whatever is he doing without me? Oh, but I know that Crouch doesn't like Bagman. He says that Bagman is a bad wizard. But Winky's also like, but I keep my master's secrets. I only tease that there's a bigger issue here for plot convenience. That's what we call some very deliberate foreshadowing. But it is interesting because even though Dobby has a better mindset about being free and he really likes being free and being paid, he still cannot come to speak ill about the Malfoys very well. Like when he tries to say something bad about the Malfoys, he starts banging his head again. So I'm not sure if that is just a learned response or if that is magically induced, but it is a very big, strange response to have, considering that Dobby is so proud about being a free elf. And that's all the notes I have on this chapter. It was about 10 pages in the big illustrated edition, but it was just a lot of little details being planted so that they can come to bloom during the next two Triwizard Tournament tasks. And other than that, it was kind of a filler chapter. I'm not really clear where all of this house elf stuff is going to go. I mean, obviously, if it's been started in the book, we're eventually going to get to the point where the house elves are free and paid for their work and stuff like that. But right now, it just really comes off like filler to fatten up the book chapters. And I like seeing Dobby again. I like that we're getting more interaction and personality out of Winky. But I don't know if like this whole free the house elf thing is all that entertaining at this point with all the other things going on. It just seems like it's in the way and slowing down the story, like Kristoff's song in Frozen 2. You know, we're in the middle of stuff. The songs are supposed to carry the plot forward, and now here's Kristoff stopping everything to a dead halt to sing an 80s love ballad. It just didn't work right. But anyways, guys, I think that will do it for this week. Thank you for watching. I'd like to remind you to like, subscribe, share, comment, and any of those fun things that you're willing to do. It is always appreciated because it helps get the word out that this exists, and the more people watch, the more I get paid, the faster I can do this and give it priority in my life, because life has been weird and depressing lately and it's very hard to get motivated to work like this. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time, family members. Bye! Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, "Hey Megan, I want to mail you something. How do I do that?" Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Family. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Family and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share one or two on social media, help spread the word. People who watch to the end of videos, like you, helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.